What's up, everybody? This is Sunko, the Korean Bro. Today is 2022, October 11th, and let's look at today's market. Okay, why interest in this three-way stock is high? Dow market, good stock, Southern Company, PepsiCo, Caterpillar. Uh, Consider warming up with seasonal cannabis soup stock. Okay. Global shares fall on tech sector losses, recession fears. Is Paramount Global stock a hidden gem in plain sight? UK spy chief says China's tech aims are a threat to us all. Hmm. New Zealand ski areas lacking snow faces a possible bankruptcy. New Zealand ski areas lacking snow face possible bankruptcy. Asian shares fall as technology shares pull benchmarks lower. Empty shelves or unaffordable food. Tunisia's crisis deepens. Hmm. Tourists flock to Japan after COVID restrictions lifted. Japanese automaker Nissan says it is pulling out of Russia. Hmm. Putin hosts United Arab Emirates leader for economic talks. Hmm. Is Tesla's slide worth a second glance? Hmm. Three stocks with market-beating price performance. Okay, I just picked a few articles. Let's read it. Okay. Hmm. Why interest in these three stock is high? Tilray and Canopy aim to improve their positions in the US. SNDL has a diversified revenue model and strong cash position, but has failed to win over investors. Interest in cannabis stocks will have to last for a comeback to take root. One the worst performing and least traded groups of 2022, the cannabis sector has suddenly caught fire. The sport that has investors dabbling in weight stocks again was not a blockbuster earnings report or social media hype. Instead, it came from President Joe Biden. Okay. It all started from a Joe Biden. Okay. On Thursday, Biden announced sweeping reforms designed to decriminalize marijuana. Wow. Announced that once again, announced the sweeping reforms designed to decriminalize marijuana. He asserted that those convicted of a federal marijuana possession offense will be pardoned, and law enforcement policies around the drug will face a thorough review. Wow, it's a big thing. Oh, wait. Am I reading it right? If I'm understanding it correctly, it's a big issue. Those convicted of a federal marijuana possession offense will be pardoned, and law enforcement policies around the drug will face a thorough review. Wow. Hold on. Am I reading it correctly? Mm, mm, and the news brought much needed relief to many cannabis stocks crushed by stalled legislative momentum and disappointing financial results. Mm. Once again, news brought much needed relief to many cannabis stocks crushed by stalled legislative momentum and disappointing financial results. A more lenient government stance on recreational marijuana could pave the way for dispensary and retail expansion and might offer the shot in the arm the industry needs. Along with renewed interest in medical marijuana companies, Biden's long awaited push sent cannabis ETFs flying off their lows late last week. The Round Hill Cannabis ETF, for example, ran more than 50% over two sessions before succumbing to broader market weakness and profit taking. Hmm. Wow. Okay. At the individual stock level, trading volume for weak stocks has been through the roof for many names. Is recent flare up a sign of more to come? Why is today's volume spiking? Canopy Growth Corporation expanding in the US. Really big issue for sure. Consider warming up with seasonal Campbell soup stocks. Seasonality usually causes Campbell Soup Company stocks to start rising into winter. CPB stock is up 7% for the year versus minus 24% for the S&P 500 ETF. Shares trade at 6 times earnings with a 3.16% dividend yield. Packaged food and beverage maker Campbell Soup stock is one of the rare stocks that remains green for the year, up 6.5% versus the SPDR S&P 500 ETF, which is down minus 24% in 2022. The Campbell Soup Company has expanded its products beyond soup, enabling it to appeal to consumers with more than just cozy food. Its diversified portfolio ranges from meals and beverages, includes Swenson frozen meals, Pace via Prego sisters, and a Spaghetti O. Its next brand include a Cape Cod, Goldfish, Kettle brand, blah blah blah. The original Campbell Soups Company brand has expanded to include variations like Slow Kettle on. The iconic brand coined the popular slogan "Soup is good food," making Campbell Soup Company synonymous with soup since its launch in 1869. It's a global brand but hasn't been struggled against the strong US dollar as it collects over 93% of its total revenues from the US. It's one of the cheapest packaged food brands compared to its competitors in terms of price and earnings. Enterprise value to EBITDA, Campbell stock traded 6 times forward earnings and 10.3 EBITDA compared to the Hirsch company at 27 times forward earnings. So it's Campbell soup stock is a seasonal stock for sure. It's one that you buy for short term reward. Because unlike S&P 500 ETF, which is down like 24%, um, this stock is up 7% so far this year versus minus 24% for the S&P 500. So global shares fall on tech sector losses, recession fears. Asian and European shares were mostly lower Tuesday as losses in the technology sector weighed on global benchmarks. France's CAC 40 dipped at 0.6% to Taiwan dropped 4.4% after reopening from a holiday in the first trading session since the US imposed new limits on exports of semiconductors and chip making equipment to China. TSMC. Okay. Japan and South Korea markets are catching up to previous global market losses, with their exposure to the tech sector spurring a greater extent of the sell-off as mirrored in Wall Street. Yup, Jerome, a market strategist at IG in Singapore, said in a report. In a bit of encouraging news, Japan opened to generally unrestricted tourism on Tuesday after more than 2 years of COVID-19 restrictions. Okay, Japan has closed um, because of COVID, but it's been 2 years since that. But then they are what is it? Uh, Reopen to generally unrestricted tourism. Here it says reopen to generally unrestricted tourism. Okay. Hmm. Is Paramount Global stock a hidden gem in plain sight? Paramount's strong brand includes CBS, MTV, Comedy Central, Showtime, and Paramount. Its streaming properties have over 100 million users combined. Top Gun 2 generated over $1.4 billion worldwide, making it the 12th highest grossing film of all time. Paris stock traded 8 times forward earnings with a $6.22 cash per share and pays a 5.15% dividend yield. Has undergone an image makeover and rebranding after its stock collapsed as Viacom CBS. Hoping to shed its controversial past with the Redstone family drama and the Orchard Capital Management $20 billion blow up, the company has emerged as a still profitable sum of all parts media empire, which may be vastly overlooked by the market. Its shares trade at less than a fifth of its value just over a year ago. Paramount Global is an entertainment powerhouse with brands that include Paramount, Pluto, MTV Comedy, blah, blah, blah. CBS is the number one broadcast network in the country and grew its market share by 20% from last year. Oh. Warren Buffett increased his shares from 68 million through the Berkshire Hathaway. Okay. Streaming empire. Here's what the chat say. UK spy chief says China's tech aims are a threat to us all. China's tech aims are a threat to us all. Okay. The head of Britain's cyber intelligence agency is accusing China of using its economic and technological clout to clamp down at home and exert control abroad, saying Beijing's aggressive stance is driven by fear and poses a huge threat to us all. Wow, 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 wow. So this guy, UK spy chief, says um, China's stance, their attitude, like they are clamping down at home and exerting control abroad, and their stance is driven by fear and poses a huge threat to everybody. Okay. Jeremy Fleming, a director of a GCHQ, says Beijing's communist authorities are seeking to shape the global tech ecosystem, using technology such as digital currencies and satellite systems to control China's population, increase its influence around the world. In a rare public speech later Tuesday to the Royal United Services Institute think tank, Fleming plans to say that the one-party system in Beijing seeks to control China's population and sees other countries as either potential adversaries or potential client states, to be threatened, bribed, or coerced. Underlying that belief is a sense of fear. That belief is a sense of fear. Wow. The term, expression is amazing. Underlying that fear, that the belief is a sense of fear. And we're seeing that fear play out through the manipulation of the technological ecosystems which underpin our everyday lives, from monitoring its own citizens and restricting free speech to influencing financial systems and new domains. So his point is this: uh, China, recently, China mm, has been really sensitive when it comes to uh, technique and like technique. Mm. And like UK spy chief also says that the way they take action on this is wrong because their underlying uh, belief, underlying their belief is a sense of fear. They uh, mm, they climb down and um, have control over people is because underlying the belief they are fear of uh something, right? So good point, dude. New Zealand ski areas lacking snow face possible bankruptcy. Hold on. Two of New Zealand's largest ski areas on Tuesday were placed into a type of bankruptcy proceeding following a disastrous winter season with barely any snow. So this is mainly about weather disaster. Uh, that's the point, right? We're because of global warming, um, many industry and many markets are changing, and very large ski areas in New Zealand also they are about to face bankruptcy because of lack of snow. It's what it is, right? New Zealand's largest ski areas on Tuesday were placed into a type of bankruptcy proceeding following a disastrous winter season with barely any snow. The Tura and Wakapa ski areas, which are both owned by Rodolfo Alpine Lifts, entered what is called the voluntary administration. The proceeding is open to failing New Zealand businesses and has some similarities to Chapter 11 bankruptcy procedures in the US. Under voluntary administration, the company directors appoint outside experts to review and rearrange finances and determine whether the company can be saved. The company laid off 135 workers in mid-August and currently employs about 196 people at the two ski areas. Asian shares fall, technology shares pull, benchmarks lower. Okay, let's see. Asian shares were mostly lower on Tuesdays. Losses in technology-related shares were weighed on global benchmarks. Taiwan dropped 4.4% after reopening from a holiday in the first trading session. Since the U.S. imposed new limits on exports of semiconductors and chip-making equipment to China, TSMC, the world's biggest chipmaker, plunged 8.3%. Japan's Nikkei 225 declined 2.6%. This is what I read before. Japan and South Korea markets are catching up to previous global market losses, with their exposure to the tech sector spurring a greater extent to the sell-off as mirrored in Wall Street. Okay. Tunisia's crisis deepens. Tunisians have been hit with soaring food prices and shortages of basic staples in recent weeks, threatening to turn simmering discontent in the North African country, the cradle of the Arab Spring protest, into larger turmoil. Sugar, vegetable oil, rice, even bottled water periodically disappear from supermarkets and grocery stores. People stand in line for hours for these food essentials that have long been subsidized and are now increasingly available in rations only. When they do appear on the shelves, many people cannot afford to pay the staggering price for them. I came to shop and found people fighting to buy, and the prices were very high. Mm. Mm. Okay, this country, Tunisia, mm, also has difficulty with some food issue. Their food price is too high, so even when it's on shelf, it disappears right away. And even when it's on shelf, people fight for it, uh, even if it's really expensive, which is something that can't ever be seen in Korea. Mhm. Tourists flock to Japan after COVID restrictions lifted. Okay, let's see. Eager to admire colorful foliage, eat sushi, and go shopping, droves of tourists from abroad began arriving in Japan on Tuesday with the end of pandemic fighting border restrictions that had been in place for more than 2 years. We got news that we can finally come. We're really, really happy, said a German who was among the crowd of tourists arriving at Tokyo's Hinda airport. Travelers like Lemon expected to deliver a solid needed 5 trillion yen boost to the world's third largest economy, and the flood of visitors is expected to keep growing. The daily limit of 50,000 arrivals is gone. Oh, in the past, they must have like a limit of visitors a day, 50,000 in this case, but its restriction is gone. So airlines have added flights in response to full reopening of borders. Visa-free travel is back for short-term business visits, and tourism from more than 60 countries. As cliched as it sounds, just being back in Japan after all this time is what I'm most looking forward to. That, of course, includes hopefully meeting new people, eating the food that I've missed, like good tonkatsu, being in nature at the time of the year, riding the trains, he said. So the point is, restrictions about tourism in Japan has been lifted. So people can go to Japan as much as they want. There's no restriction. Japanese automaker Nissan says it is pulling out of Russia. Okay, now there's a like conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and because of that, uh, the invasion of the invasion done by Russia is critically blamed by a lot of countries. So uh, along with that, Japanese also has decided to pull out of Russia. Nissan, the company, Japanese automaker Nissan Motor Co. said Tuesday that it plans to sell its Russian operations to its local partner and withdraw from manufacturing there. The company said its executive committee approved the sale to Russia's Central Research and Development Automobile and Engines Institute, or NAMI. The sale included Nissan's factory and R&D facilities in St. Petersburg, its sales and marketing center in Moscow. He said the company will operate under a new name. Okay, so they sold uh R&D center and what else? Other institute to some other company. While we cannot continue operating in the market, we have found the best possible solution to support our people. Okay, what is this guy? Putin. Okay, President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday hailed the recent decision by OPEC, Russia, and other oil producing nations to limit production as key to stabilizing the global energy market. As he met the leader of the United Arab Emirates for talks on fostering economic ties. Speaking at the start of his talks in St. Petersburg was Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the ruler of Abu Dhabi and the president of the United Arab Emirates. Putin hailed the tie between the two countries as important for regional and global stability. So I get it. Uh, oil price is really important for the growth of companies. Um, and to stabilize oil price, one country cannot thoroughly solve a single problem, and country has to get together to solve the problem. In line with that, Putin also went to Abu Dhabi to talk with the president of United Arab Emirates to talk about stabilizing oil. Mm. Despite all the difficulties that exist in the international relations today, ties between Russia and the United Arab Emirates are an important factor of stability in the region and the entire world, Putin said at the start of his talks with Al Nahyan. The Russian leader noted Al Nahyan's support for the decision of the OPEC Plus group that included Russia to limit oil production to shore up oil prices, saying that our decisions, our action, aren't directed against anyone, aimed at ensuring stability in global energy markets to make both consumers of energy resources and those who deal with production supplies feel calm, stability, and confidence to help balance supply and demand. Okay, is it? I get it. So he's saying the main reason he goes uh to meet president of Abu Dhabi, president of United Arab Emirates, is because he wants to uh stabilize oil prices. He wants to balance between supply and demand. Mm. He wants to make consumers feel calm. Mm. Okay, next one. This is what I read before. Let's go over to Yahoo Finance this time. Okay. Mm. The stock market rarely produces average returns. Okay. Goldman Sachs too early to price in a Fed policy pivot. Down more than 60% and now say buy these beaten down stocks before they rebound. Buy these two high yield dividend stocks, including one with 60% yield. 5G stocks for investors who want to buy the deep. Okay. Here's how you will know stock market lows are final here, says legendary investor called 87 Crash. Earnings are looking bad, but what's coming could be even worse. Pound and co-founder Joan Fowler faced repeated margin loss from Goldman Sachs. His stock slumped. Hmm. Okay, let's start looking at it, okay? Hmm. Oh, I got not much time. Let's read it really fast, okay? Average returns. Wall Street firms have begun publishing their 2023 forecast for the S&P 500. Targets published by 7 top equity strategies range from 3,800 to 4,200, implying returns of 4 to 15% from current levels. We'll only know how accurate these calls are in hindsight. We do, however, know the last year's 2022 forecasts have proven very inaccurate so far. Okay. It was published before, and when it was published, people assumed that it was gonna be right. But then it turns out it's not right. It's not accurate. Uh, we do have a 2 and 2 3 forecast for the S&P 500, and we'll see if it's right. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Some event will come out of left field, and the market will go down, or the market will go up. Volatility will occur. Markets will continue to have these ups and downs. Basic corporate profits have grown about 8% a year historically. So corporate profits double about every 9 years. The stock market ought to double about every 9 years. The next 500 points, the next 600 points. I don't know which way they will go. So the market ought to double in the next 8 or 9 years. They'll double again in 8 or 9 years after that because profits go up 8% a year, and stocks will follow. That's all there is to it. Hmm. Okay, next one we have is hmm, down more than 60%. Let's see. Hmm. While October has a reputation for crashes, it's really a bear market killer. This trade recently wrote of the past 17 bear stocks bottomed in October 6 times. Could it happen again? With sentiment this pessimistic and extremely positive, seasonal is right around the corner, would be open to it. Sentiment is indeed low. Bearish sentiment, according to the end of September's American Association of Individual Investor Sentiment Survey, is at 60.8%, near record high levels. This is a bit of a contrarian indicator. Historically, when sentiment has been at its lowest, it often suggests the bottom is in sight. So, with a rebound potentially in the cards, let's take a look at 3 names which could be in line for a well-deserved bounce. At least according to some street analysts, these are stocks which have retreated significantly this year, with all down by 60% or more. According to Keep Ranks database, which also features a strong buy analyst consensus rating and a profit offset potential. This area is broad with a huge amount of data which must be stored somewhere. The digital era has brought with a huge amount of data, which must be stored somewhere. And this in turn has led to surge in global demand for data centers. This is where Sixtra Technologies enters the frame. The company is a big player in data center colocation and interconnection services. Sixtra boasts 60 data centers, which are spread across 30 markets, with over 2,300 private enterprise and public sector customers making use of its services. 2,300 private enterprise and public sector customers making use of its services. Sixtra is relatively new to the stock market, having gone public via the SPAC route in July 2021. That's an unfortunate bit of timing, as anyone who has been following the fate of SPACs over the last year and a half or so will know. SPACs have had a miserable time, and so have Zixta shares. They're down 76% on a year-to-date basis, a performance not helped by several factors. Okay. However, assessing the company's prospects, choice analyst Gregory P. Miller think it is good time to be loading up. Despite macroeconomic mm, current macroeconomic headwinds and the stock's underperformance what year to date, we believe fundamentals largely remain the same. Increasingly believe in the Sixtra management team's ability to take advantage of industry's tailwinds. We continue to believe Sixtra is well positioned over the long term with increasing utilization in key markets and expansion in resource constrained regions, as well as improving MRC pricing. Miller opined. Miller is certainly bullish along with a buy rating. Hmm. The analyst's $15 price target makes room for 12-month returns of a huge 400%. Okay. It's also the one that I have to look at. Let's now pivot to a company also dealing with modern concerns, but ones of an entirely different hue, that of the earthy kind. Hmm. Hmm. Carvista Pharmaceuticals. Okay. Five cheap stocks for investors who want to buy the deep. Hmm. It's been a rough year for cheap stocks, but investors should look beyond short-term weakness. Hmm. Five semiconductor stocks now offer solid buying opportunities. Solid buying opportunities. Hmm. According to Cowen analyst Matthew Ramsey. Okay. Here's how you will know stock market lows are finally here. It says legendary investor quotes 87 crash. Some of the worst stocks to start here could become the best as the market recovers. Many of them are found in the technology and consumer discretionary sectors. Hmm. What's coming could be even worse. So what's the point here? Let's see. Wall Street is bracing for a rough earnings season as macroeconomic issues weigh on profit margins. Hmm. But even if third quarter results aren't so bad, the bigger fear is what corporate America sees on the horizon. Expectations for the reporting cycle, which starts with big banks' results on Friday, are soaring with a stronger dollar, bloated event inventory levels, and uncertainty over the Federal Reserve's rate hiking cycle cited as the main culprits by us at Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. Companies have to navigate through a challenging environment where company-specific issues are exacerbated by tight financial conditions. Of course, some companies will manage to clear an earnings bar that over the past 3 months has been lower by the most since the pandemic. But what investors want to hear are executives' view on future growth. The bear market will not be over till the deteriorating fundamental picture is more fully discounted. Sentiment, we see the word sentiment really often, right? Because like especially in this hard depression, recession, we see bad sentiment all over the place, right? So even in this article, the author mentioned sentiment like pretty many times, right? Sentiment will be impacted when companies throw in the towel or if there's an external financial shock. Okay, bad article and again bad article. So I see that we have well, I invested uh some of money into companies, and and so far it's not good, but I'm doing it long term investment, so I'm like not doing any action because I know that it's going to go up because we have like uh you know mm, when the bad day comes, the good day is right near that bad days. So right after this is over, good day will come right away. So what you need is a patience. Oh. Most of people will say, "Ah, I'm just gonna sell it when the moment that comes, when it's even, I'm going to sell it so that I'm not gonna lose any money." But that um, patience is all it takes for one to make such profit, because it's what that kind of game, I guess. He JP Morgan, uh this guy, Demon Diamond R says the will have another 20% drop in the future. Much painful than the first. Okay, I get it. Oh, what's this about Kathy Wood? Our investor Kathy Wood sees a collapse in used car prices on the horizon. If she's right, that could mean disaster for auto finance companies, traditional car makers, and dealerships. The good news is that Wood probably isn't right. The big risk isn't a complete collapse, but falling prices are likely to create malaise, a persistent headwind that scares investors away from auto stocks. Kathy would buy Odo B. Let's look at Odo B. Mm. Wow, wow, wow. Odo B is at the moment. Okay. Kathy would buy another tranche of Odo B shares as the stock languishes near its mid-September low when it cratered after announcing its biggest ever acquisition. Woods or Next Generation Internet ETF bought 23,605 Odo B shares on Monday, nearly a month after the software product maker said it would buy software design startup Figma, in a deal valued at about $20 billion. Okay, let's read a couple of sentences uh, for each article. Okay. The global electric vehicle market is expected to grow by an annualized rate of 24% through 2028. A few billionaire investors are using the bear market decline as an opportunity to pile onto three popular EV stocks. One of these three EV companies offers more upside than its peers. Hmm. Rivian Automotive, okay. Lucid Group, Neo. Rivian Automotive, Rivian, Rivian Automotive, Lucid, Neo, Pinterest, Salesforce, and Sophie Technologies. So this is it for today. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye bye.